lovers, welcome to Uncommon Reader. I'm Daniela, and today I'm telling you all about my recent visit to a free library in my region and the big loot I brought home. This free library feels like heaven on earth. It's a place managed by some retiree volunteers, which are linked to some Catholic organization. It's set on a warehouse and it's pretty big. It has two long aisles just hold the fiction books, and then there's a larger one for nonfiction, and also you can find magazines and multimedia. So you saw the writing on the wall that says book crossing. So it is kind of a book crossing ideally, but you can also go in as a private citizen and take home books. And there's no limitation to the time you can keep them. So you can actually keep them at home forever. Although I see a lot of people bring their own books, and there are people just donating books and not taking them back. You know, it happens that you have to get rid of a lot of stuff in your house, and so it's really great to donate books to these associations. But I feel a lot of people are also reciprocating. So if they go and pick up some books to take home, they also bring stuff in return. And that's what I do usually. I went twice. It was one time in May or June this year, and I actually brought only 3 books, and I brought back way more. There's a limit of 10 books though, so you don't really go crazy. This time though, I brought 6 books and also a bunch of DVDs that I don't watch anymore because I don't have a DVD player at home. So I figure, you know, they could be enjoyed by somebody else. So I have a big book haul for you today, not only showing the books I brought back this week, but also the ones that I brought back in June or May. I don't remember when I went, but anyways, of course, I'm going to share just the books that I found that are available in English. Let's start with Sarah Haywood, and it's The Cactus in English. In Italian, the title is The Happiness of a Cactus. This was a book my friend had lent me, and I've never read it. And I decided to return it because I felt really bad. I had the book for like a year and I never had a chance to read it. And you know what they do when you choose a book to take home? They stamp it. And I'm going to show you the stamp that every book has. And some books have 2 stamps or 3 stamps because people tend to take them home, read them, and then take them back. So they have this Banco Libero, that's the name of the book crossing, the free library. And it said also that selling is forbidden. So, you know, you tend to do this as a charity thing and not lucrative. So this is a must read, so I've been told. It's by the late, unfortunately, Lucinda Riley, the Irish author, and it's the first of 8 books. It's a family saga, The 7 Sisters. Yes, I want to read these sagas. They've been very successful. The next book I picked up, and you can see in great conditions, all the books are really nice. I mean, some are really old, but of course the titles that are kind of new, they are in pretty great conditions. And this is a funny story. Stuart Turton was the 7th and a half death of Evelyn Hardcastle. So I noticed, because I was looking, of course, for the English version through Goodreads, that this book has 2 different names, and in US, it's written The 7 Deaths and a Half of Evelyn Hardcastle, whereas in UK and in Italy and in other countries, it's only The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I don't know why. So this is a mystery book, and I'm curious to see why in some countries they add a half and in others they don't. So I don't know, is it part of the mystery of the stories? I don't know. And then I found a book from Corinna Bowman. Actually, I found two, but I'm going to show you just one because the second book, it's not translated in English. This is Butterfly Island, and I love Corinna Bowman. She's a great German author, and usually she writes stories about women empowerment with some historic settings. So I wouldn't really call them historic novels, but they have that flavor sometimes. And now a classic of Russian literature, The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. So this book, I found out finding the cover on Goodreads, was written by the author between 1928 and 1940 during the Stalin era. And it was only published posthumously by his wife between 1966 and 1967 through a Russian magazine, but it was edited and censored by editor's cut. So I guess this is actually the original version, I hope, and we shall see. I hear so much about this book, and I was so happy, especially because you see so many great titles and you go thinking, why on earth would people get rid of such books, right? And I think this author doesn't need any introduction. I found two books by Ernest Hemingway, and it's For Whom the Bell Tolls and A Farewell to Arms. And I have a big confessions to make. I have never read anything by Ernest Hemingway. I am kind of ashamed, but I want to be honest. I have never read him. And so they actually had quite a few books from him, but I wanted to read the most popular ones. Also, this time I saw some more novels from this author, but again, I said, okay, you already have two at home, take it easy. And now on with the new pile. This is the books I brought home, or at least 7 out of 10, because 3 of them are not available in English. Actually, not even the first one, but I needed to show you this because it reminded me of this author I read for the first time this January. And this is just a tiny book. I'm not sure. It's a short stories by Roman Gary. It's called A Page in History, but okay. It's not available in English. And then we go through a genre that I deeply love. So stories about women in Middle East or in India. And this is a new author for me. I'm going to get my glasses to read it. It's called Bapsi Sidhwa. She is a female writer. And this is The Pakistani Bride. It was quite a successful globally, this book, but I had never heard of it. And I found, since I don't know this writer, I found some information online that I wanted to share. So she's a Pakistan leading diasporic writer, and she had produced 4 novels in English that reflects her personal experience of the Indian subcontinent's partition, abuse against women, immigration to the US, and membership in the Parsi Zoroastrian community. So I'm deeply, deeply emotionally involved in these stories, and I look forward to start reading this one. Now some England time with a couple of 20th century female writers. The first one was Daphne du Maurier with Enchanted Cornwall. And this book reminded me of an Italian booktuber I'm friends with through my Italian channel. She always adds this little plastic cover to her book, so it reminded me of her. And when I've opened the book, you won't believe it what I found. Look at this. Yes, it's a 4-leaf clover. Let me bring it out and show it to you. So could I leave it there? Of course not. It was such a good luck, and I took it home. So I think this was more like a memoir book for her, and I have never read her novels, and although I've seen movies from her books, and she was, so it's written here, Alfred Hitchcock most beloved writer. So I'm expecting weary atmospheres with this book. And we stay in England with Nancy Mitford. And this is, I think, the first book she published, the In Pursuit of Love. And actually a curious story for me that I got interested in her because I read a book, now I can't remember the title, but maybe I'll do a little research and maybe write it down here, where the protagonist was such a fan of this author, and so she was researching her life. She was actually in a big family, and I don't know if they had like 7 or 8 sisters, and there is a book actually on the life of this family. And there's something going on during the war where part of the family were fascists. So it's quite intriguing, and I always wanted to research more on her life, but for now I found this book and I'm going to read it. So then I found this huge block. That's what we call, I don't know if it's the same English, but when a book is heavy and it has a lot of pages, we call them blocks. I guess it makes sense in English too. So this is an author I encountered last year for the first time, Amos Oz, and he's an Israeli writer. And I love the atmospheres of Between Friends, which I have read with my library book club. And so it looks like this book, which is called in English A Tale of Love and Darkness, is his masterpiece. And so that's what the critics are saying in the back of the book. And I look forward to read this book. I'm kind of really interested in trying to understand better the conflict between Israel and Palestine. So any book that's written by authors coming from each side, I find it extremely powerful. And so, yeah, it's a little scary because there's so many pages, but definitely I love this author and I'm sure this is going to be a pretty good story. Now, 2 Italian authors that I want to share, and you may remember Elsa Morante, and this is Arthur's Island. I was completely taken by this author with the heartbreaking story in history. A huge book, emotional book set in Rome during the Second World War. And this is actually, I think, a little more intimate because it's a family story, some sort of intrigue, love intrigue, and it's a pretty famous in Italy and also, as you see, translated in English. And finally, another author from the 20th century, Dino Buzzati, and this book has been translated as well, and it's called A Love Affair in English. And the interesting thing about this book that I want to read for you, accomplished in his career but unaccomplished in love, a middle-aged architect is torn apart by his obsession with an enigmatic young woman in this delicately told story of desire and abjection by a titan of Italian literature. So I'm not going to dwell in the whole story, but I love this little phrase at the end that says, is a love affair a love story, or it is a story of anything but love? Buzzati's novel, with its psychological subtleties, its vivid cityscapes, and its compassion, keeps the reader guessing till the end. So another Italian booktuber recommended me this book, and guess what? I found it, so I'm happy to give it a try very soon. Okay, this was the last book of this big book haul. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please put a like to this video, comment, let me know if any of these books arouse your curiosity, and also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to stay tuned with more videos. I look forward to see you here back on Uncommon Reader pretty soon, next week. I would love to respond to a tag from Renee next week. I'm not sure because it's been really crazy the past couple of weeks, but I'll do my best. Otherwise, I might just randomly publish a tag, not on Tuesday, but some other day. But anyway, I will see you definitely here on Friday, next Friday, for my September reads wrap up. It's time. Thank you again and see you soon. Happy reading in the meantime.